I'm gonna say give thanks for life. You want love black people. I'm gonna say you're the provider, Selassie, the Almighty. Joe, Rastafari live on the meaning of the art of all flesh. Kalonji, get the place of fire, rises high. Open the eyes, you better be wise. You never know, get the place of fire, rises high. Yo, for the little you, I'm gonna show you.
Okay, maximum respect to everybody for tuning in so far. This is episode number 6 of Catcha Fyah. Last week, we spoke about musical influence. We spoke to DJ Rico Love. We had an excellent interview with him. Thanks to everybody who's viewed that interview so far. This week, we're talking fashion, and that's also part of the influence. Everybody seems to think that there's a lot of European culture involved in clothing. There's a lot of North American culture as well. Right now, this week, we're going to talk to a local designer, but not local by any means at all. We're talking to Rhaj Paul. So when we come back, we're going to get into his brain. We're going to figure out what's been going on with him as well. A new brand called Evolve. So just stay tuned when we come back.
He's a super frost and cycle buggy.
Yeah, I tell that star. Well, here can a very great thing played by the king full of all I bring. Super frost and buggy no can take come to rock it and swing. Jam and me come fit chant and sing. The girl them say that we are the king in the ring. Them love me more than Kentucky loving fried chicken wing.
I'm just a drink, but your daughter love my style then. It's true, yes it's true.
Did you hear that?
You call her a thug, but she love my smile, yes it's true, yes it's true.
I tell you. Well, I say easy super frost and cycle buggy. I say 24/7 she thinking of me. She want to burn the sacraments and sit bubbly. She want to sit down in the love seat and get cuddly. Long time mama tell her fi go school study. She a link out Rasta and a play okay. Tell daddy she a sell Girl Scout cookie. Qualified expert, she a no rookie. Yeah,
I'm just a drink, but your daughter love my style then. It's true, yes it's true.
did you hear that?
You call her a thug, but she love my smile, yes it's true, yes it's true.
Okay, so we're back. We're talking to Rhaj Paul. So obviously this week, like I said, we're talking fashion. We're talking culture, arts, creativity. Normal vibe. We're still pushing the positive train. So what's been happening, Raj? How are things?
It's been happening. Been working. You know what I mean? Evolve. You know, been pushing that there. Benjamin Drake's been working with him, doing films. Some recent stuff going on. I can talk about later. But just pushing fashion forward, man. That's what I do.
All right, well, take me back. I don't know if this is going to reveal my age somehow, but when I was going to community college, everybody was into Rhaj Paul. He had the shirt with the 2 stars on the front. So take me back to when you first started and talk to me. Bring me through. How was that been for you in Barbados? I mean, fashion in Barbados.
See, the first problem with telling you these tales, telling you these stories is I could just tell you these stories forever. So I don't want to take too long on it. But for sure, when I started out, community college was like a kickstart. And the funny thing about it was that it wasn't because I was doing fashion at community college at all. I was doing engineering. So I wasn't doing anything that was even in the line of what I do today, in a way. In an indirect way, it's functioning what I do. See, engineering, when you look at engineering drawings, you see how the details is be so perfect? It don't just be like a painting with details in it. It's be like everything is be so perfect, but the thing could be so detailed at the same time. I love that. I just love that. And I feel like even in the current things that I'm doing, like the Evolve designs, that kind of geometry and that kind of architecturalness goes into the way that I build my designs. So that's where I started off with Rhaj Paul, jumping off from there, even though I wasn't doing anything in design. What happened there though, which is not only was I not doing anything in design because I was doing engineering, but also the person that I met that introduced me eventually, who was the conduit that introduced me to my talent, wasn't in class. I used to spend like lunch times and thing, or sometimes class times, out by the canteen, out by the cafeteria. And out there, that's where just like people used to get together and talk. I used to like that shit. I used to like that she was just talking about things that kind of deep, like levels of things, you know what I mean? Like good stuff. And while I was doing that one time, I met a dude there who was wearing a pair of jeans that was different from jeans that was selling. It was exactly the kind of jeans I was looking for. Because in that time, that same time, that was the skateboard time. So that was when skating and thing was hot, and the style was them wide leg jeans. You remember just like the other day, just the other day before the skinny, you remember was doing white leg? But that was before then. You know what I mean? That was a couple years before then, back at community college, from the skate culture. That's where it started, B. That dude was wearing a pair of jeans. I was like, where you get these jeans? I was like, a dude made his jeans, a tailor made his jeans. A tailor made his jeans? Tailors don't make jeans, right? Tailors make jeans? Like I never even studied that. Like a tailor will make a jeans. A tailor will make a school pants or a church pants or a sign, but a tailor will make a jeans? I said, dude, I gotta meet this dude. That's when I met Rojo. That was what opened it up, B. Rojo was like, you know, I was like, yo, let me see what you got. We met in Queens Park, just like under one of those ice banana things, like one of those things. And he opened up a fucking duffel bag of just like polo stuff, and I was like, nah, dude, like you made this? Nah, dude. That time, no, watch me know, Cross Colors was in. Dig it? Carl Kanai was in. You dig it? So that was the kind of vibe that was on. That shit was just like that shit, except that did not have the labels. But that was so awesome. I was like, I couldn't believe it, B. I could not believe it. You know those like baseball shirts, like the ones with like the real ones, the ones with the snap buttons, and that will go out like a logo here, and it will go out like a sleeve here, and two colors and thing. B, this man had one of those here, so that he made it. That was so hard. And how Carl kind of like stitch into the same thing was so hard. I was like, nah, dude, who's you?
And that influence.
That was like, All right, I was like, dude, I want to learn how to stitch. I want to learn how to sew. I got this machine. My mother brought this machine all the way from Sri Lanka, B. Old black head singer. It's the one that's in the film, the stylist.
Right.
So
You can have a look at that later.
Cool. Big up to Benjamin Drakes. When I started there with that sewing machine, I was just like, B, they got this sewing machine here, so I just want to learn how to make stuff, because, you know, I think I'd be good. Because previous to that, the only thing that I had really done was like alter a pair of pants.
When you first started, to know in between that, you're talking to like, I don't know, 13 to 14 years in the business. Have you finally found a place, like, has it been real for you, being some person who designs shirts or whatever? Has it been real for you?
Has it been real? She said like that question. Has it been real? It's been so real because it's what I've decided was gonna be real. You know what I mean? Like when you choosing a career path that's different from what's common, that shit don't happen unless you decide. At least not to my understanding and my experience. You have to decide about that. You have to choose it with all yourself. You dig it? So it's been real because I've made it real. You dig it? I could have just been like any other designer who has great ideas, who's just a story that you hear about later on. Like, you remember that dude that had a mind that was like real hard or something, like doing something. Like you heard, like I know if you skate, like you heard of Tony. You know, like when you hear stories like, you ever hear of Tony Boy, the man was the sickest thing in Barbados. Like, you understand? That didn't fulfill with Tony being like a pro skater. But it's like that feeling of like that man could have been a pro skater, being like that's what we have with us. You understand what I'm saying? So for me, it was like at a certain point, because it was a journey, right? But at a certain point, and honestly, it had to do with St. Lucia. At a certain point, just a few years ago, I decided, this is what I do. This is what I do. You understand? So when I made that decision, like that's how I was gonna live. I was gonna live as a true designer. I was gonna create things that was original. I was gonna do something that was outstanding. You know what I mean? Saying that was like excellent. I feel like that's all it really eventually takes. You have to make that decision, because there's enough things to stop you from doing that. There's enough things that should be that aren't. That you're like, how could this, the things that are missing, and then, for instance, I ain't just tell you straight, like when I can't get the right thread. No, that's not saying that you would think about, but that's saying that I would think about. Right. I need the right thread when I'm stitching these jeans, because this needs a coarser thread than your regular thread. And getting that is a problem. You know, I can have to use something else in replacement, like nylon. But I can make it look good. But you can't get where you right. So when you study the limits, you can't breeze through this. No, as far as I know.
So how have you come to that? I mean.
That's why telling you no with decision. That's the counter.
But take me into the fundamentals of it, because at the end of the day, I always assume that there are people who want to get into the same thing that you're in. So we need to give them at least some sort of specific guidance. So I mean, in terms of not just physically.
I can tell you something that I have learned that I think that if anybody uses, it's gonna be to their betterment. All right, it's a principle that came out to me just through my experience, and it's this. Try to think of Barbados as boot camp. All right, if you're an artist, if you're somebody that want to be original, if you're somebody that feel that you got promise, and the response that you get from people who listen to me, buy your product, and just like your product, buy your product, right? If that tells you that you got something good, consider that this zone, this island, consider that Barbados is boot camp. This is where it's supposed to be hard. Like if you could shift your thinking, right, from like, why they ask this so hard here, and all the reasons that you could list for just don't buy art, for, you know what I'm saying, like all the things that you could list as all your problems, don't do that. Shift your thinking, B. Think of this as boot camp. When you're in boot camp now, right, you're in a thing called preparation. You know that it's gonna be rough. You know, like if you join something and you know it's boot camp that you're joining, you understand where your mind is gonna be at. You can like know that they ain't supposed to go everything. You can know that already. You can be like, well, I ain't expecting to go out there. This is boot camp. This is what you can do that's different to when you got the other mindset. What you can do is that you can make everything that you could get your hands on work. That's what you can do.
Bottom line.
Bottom line, B. You see something out of nothing, turning nothing into something. B, you know it's a Latin. I know it, like I ain't a specialist, but I know what it looks like. But I think it's creatio ex nihilo. It's like something out of nothing, creating out of nothing. I feel that that's a divine thing, B. That's a divine principle.
Very creation we live.
Same way saying that's like someone with awareness, call it God. Took the nothingness and said, there's something. I feel like when we doing this, like when we creating original things, when we striving for that, and we not just copying shit that look cool. We influence, of course, but we striving for like, what is it that I really got to offer? When we striving for that, what is it that I really got to offer? See that there? That questioning right there? That was good deep inside of you. What is it that I really got to offer? So I got to offer, man, and start to work. You understand what I'm saying? That there, to me, that's a participation with saying divinely. I mean, just to tell you straight. I feel like what I do is a kind of, I don't want to make it super special, but I can tell you that I feel it's saying like super special.
Straight.
And I feel artists, creative people, participate in this awesomeness. And that's something to value highly. But trust me when I tell you, take your attention off of the problems and recognize it like this. You in boot camp. So you can use everything to you availability to get you to more availability. And you can build B. I can tell you this. This is how I feel. Like, you could tell me I'm wrong. See, man, they got saying I want to tell you. I don't even know if I can tell you that, B.
No, this is video right before, wow.
Shh, I don't know if I can tell you that, B. I can see if I can avoid telling you that. But I can tell you something else that's true. When you come to the point, when you recognize that this is what you do, this is who you are, leave. Leave, B. Leave. Because the effort that's gonna take for you to change things, B, if things could have changed as reasonably straightforward as you would like to think they are, I would have fucking changed them. The way that I feel about what I do, I know that anybody that I talk to and show them what's going on will understand what's going on. I can't even get the man to sit down with me. It's man interested. Okay, man interested.
I mean, I mean, it's like
So
revolution
leave,
/ resolution. So, I mean, you say leave. What happens to, at the end of the day, we're talking about generations of designers who are going to come out in Barbados and who are going to watch this interview and want to, I don't know, suppose pursue, you know, a t-shirt line, t-shirt brand. So you're in a position to set a trend, to speak out against certain things. And I'm going to use a perfect example recently. We've used fashion as far as camouflage is concerned.
Right.
The oppression of camouflage, the rule where you're not supposed to wear camouflage, etc.
Is that a problem?
No.
Oh, for real?
Nah, that's cool.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, I want you to bring that out for me and use it in the course of that very sad debate. Camouflage, fashion, I mean, there's a world trend right now as far as camouflage is concerned. All the major brands, all the major designers taking advantage of it. So where does that leave you? Coming out of that same thing you said just now.
That's a good question. Let me backtrack and come into that. When you leave, you get to participate in the global business of fashion. You get to deal with what's happening across the world. If you stay here, B, and you try to change things, you could spend a lot of time here. More time than you really might need to. So make your struggle or your experience or your preparation here as small as possible by appreciating what it's for. People aren't ready for what you're dealing with, not yet. People aren't ready for what you're dealing with at them policy levels, not yet. Not yet. It's simple. They just don't see the value in the creative arts. It don't matter what they say, B. They don't see the value in it. Because when you see the value in a saying, you just back it. That's just simple. Especially when you want somebody else to get the opportunity to back it before you. That's just simple. So if you don't see the value, you just don't back it. You just let it do its thing. But because that's how it is here, you just get to be determined about what you're doing. Get what I'm saying? That's why it says boot camp. Because the things that could happen just don't happen. Not like that. You just gotta keep pressing forward. So that's why it turned around for me. B, that's why it turned around for me. Yeah? That's why it turned around for me when I realized that all the obstacles is here to make me decide. This is what I really want to do. It's hard for people to believe that for years that I was designing that I hadn't really decided that's what I was doing. But that's true in St. Lucia, you know, maybe another, helped me a lot with that decisiveness. But once I did that, this scenario changed for me. There's no way I understand, like, since I've decided, this is what I can do. You know, that's a different energy from when you working it out. You know what I mean, B? When you working it out, you still working it out. You still tentative on thing, right? So there's certain risks you just might not take on thing. But when you decide about it, there's things that you can do because this what you do know.
Okay, not crossing you, but you mentioned St. Lucia quite a few times. Obviously, I don't think you're going to travel anywhere in the world and not take some sort of, rep of your brand. So talk to me about the receptivity of people in St. Lucia.
Right.
To your brand.
You know what's interesting with that, Philip, is that's hard to say. One of the places that I need to revisit with the brand is St. Lucia. Like directly, B. Like I need to do that. Because that's where the idea was born. When I was in St. Lucia. That's where it happened to me. That's why if you see You're
talking about Evolve?
Yeah, Evolve. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm talking about Evolve. When you see the label, the neck label in the shirts, it says, there's a part where it says, inspired in St. Lucia, right? Created in Barbados and marketed worldwide. Because that's exactly what it is, right? I want to give like a little forward to the fact that where I was when the idea came to me, because I think it's awesome. So I said like, yeah, B, I had to give him some inspired in St. Lucia. I like that there. But you believe that I ain't got to bring out the brand in St. Lucia?
Yeah.
Yeah. I ain't got to do it because I had the ideas and started doing the designs on my laptop, but I ain't got to bring it out because you won't believe why? Because watch it. I thought the difficult thing was that I was going to find it hard to find a quality printer. Nah, B, I find this super guy, right? Francis, John or saying like this dude clean, love it. So I was like, yeah, B, I got one of the hardest things to find, a quality, top-notch printer. Show the designs, man, I like the designs. You know I couldn't get, B, I sorry to say this, say so, B, I couldn't get a t-shirt. T-shirts wasn't cutting it, not for fashion. So I couldn't bring it out. So I waited and I'm from Canada and I was like, yeah, get that. So once we got the right shirt, the quality shirt, I put the prints on it, fire. Yeah, B. So St. Lucia was instrumental in helping me come to myself too. Because in St. Lucia for months, I wasn't doing anything to do with design at all. I wasn't even introducing myself to anybody as a designer or anything like that. It wasn't nothing about that. It was a whole like other identity where man I want to know like was you know me, what's that dude about? You know what I mean? But it was just like no identity.
Okay, so the word evolve is a big word.
Right.
Not in terms of length, but the depth of this word is a big word. So
right.
To put that word up there, I suppose I want you to not just defend it, but explain the movement behind that work. So we're gonna take a music video,
right,
and come back and talk about the brand itself.
Sure, man.
So we're
supposed to interrupt you,
right,
to keep
right,
it rolling.
Right.
Keep it.
Right, good. He ain't cut that.
Listen, no, dude, this is for you.
Right.
Yes, sir. Yeah, B. This
Evolve.
is a tribal. This is Evolve Tribal Heart.
Right.
Yes, sir.
I seen a lot of these around the place.
Alright, then I just good. Yeah. That's for you. That's for you, cameraman. Hold on from that there. That's that colorway. That's the local colorway. The yellow and the the yellow black and blue.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? That's the local colorway. But that's the tribal heart is. So Evolve badges, get some. I can plug that shit in.
Of course.
Cool. Evolve badges, $5 a piece. Get some. Get at me. I am Raj. That's the Facebook and you know, Rhaj Paul Evolve at gmail.com.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. Check that. Hold that there. Yes.
All right. So tell me what the brand now.
So let me tell you what, right. Evolve.
It's a big word, Raj.
Get to that
Evolve.
shit. You ready for it?
Of course. Let's go.
You got battery power? Let's do that. Let me tell you what it's starting with. So I in St. Lucia and beer shit going down, B. Seeing things in the papers about men getting beheaded and thing. Hearing stories and thing, man, violence like some cruel shit. They got another side that different, but they got that side that going on, and it's like, whoa. Things startle me. I study into myself, what am I gonna do about this there? Next word sound I drop is like more papers, right? More police, more task force, more guns, like better vehicles and thing, more force. I say to myself, damn, is that gonna make it better? Yeah, that could quell some, but is that gonna change anything really? Or is that gonna just die that down so it rises up again and saying, what's that about? And I said, B, see that shit? I don't like that shit. So that's plaguing on my mind. Same time, I'm trying to get into my design mode. And I say to myself, yo, I love fashion so much, but is fashion just about swag, B? Is fashion just about like styling? Just about looking good and saying, like, isn't fashion more powerful than that? 'Cause fashion is like clothes, is like what people wear, is like skins, B.
Statement.
B is a statement, yes, I get into that, but it's a statement because it's your covering for your body, right? You don't just walk around your skin, you just cover that nakedness with another skin, your clothing, you understand? So it's your first order, well, you know, in a very practical way of self-expression. So practical first, of course, but self-expression, once you get practical sorted out, what you talking about? Everything after that is about self-expression, unless you can make practical better, you understand? But this your first, this we use deal with. So you dealing with like cheese on bread, what you gonna wear? I say to myself, B, when you're making decisions about your swag, when you're making decisions about your fashion, that means important decisions. Can fashion do more than just make us look cool? And I say yes. Can't wait for the answer, B. I say yes. Fashion could do more than that, B. Fashion could change people, B. Fashion could make people think different. Fashion could make people hype something else, B. Fashion could support people who on that journey too. You understand what I'm saying? So fashion could be part of the shiftingness of knowledge of self, of who you becoming, of awareness. At the same time, get what I'm saying now? At the same time, you don't know you're dealing with Exodus. At the same time, it's a legitimate fashion, streetwear, legitimate. Not like the soft side of streetwear. Get me? We're gonna stop that. If you're doing the soft side of streetwear when you're doing sign conscious, you gotta stop that. Stop that. Get rough with it, B. Get the good stuff. Like, don't watch the good brands that are doing good stuff, like Obey or who Black Scale or who else. You know, there's a lot of good stuff that's out. People see a lot of Quicksilver, people see a lot of Billabong, people see, you know, this good stuff. Armani X doing some cool stuff. See stuff, but watch it be. Make your shit just as hard. If you're dealing with sign conscious, don't come soft, be talking about people. You selling the message. Get off of that. I telling you, trust me, get off of that. Because watch it, the message is still the message. But you gotta get the people on the fashion edge, B. You can't be like selling their message and thing, B. You can only get your own people. You can only get people that are vibing with you already. You don't get nobody else. What's the point of that? What's the point of that? I mean, that's cool if you just provide it for like the church. Meaning like the crew are saying.
Hope agents like evolve. Hope agents
really evolve when you talking about, B.
Right.
B. I get so much love. It's just like I'm so happy with that, because with that, that's energy when you downtime too, and when you like still like uncertain. I've been uncertain so many times, B. Just working it out, talking with Keisha, working it out. You understand what I'm saying? But things coming together, no, I love it. But that energy, that is what in solution. That's what it's called, strength. Yeah, behold that. You know what I mean? There's strength. Behold that, and that's what's happening. Facebook in particular is a super platform for that. You know what I mean? So I get a dialogue with people, but even on the street, that's the action, B. That's like people love that shit. People, I mean, people love what I am doing too and love the tailoring, and you know, they love that because that's from the past. And those who know that love that and look for that. And with the Salvador business, trying to get over the Salvador, a lot of people supporting that. But people come to know about the brand even before me. You know what I mean? I know the truth is, I know a lot of people support me by brand the brand because they support me personally, right? And I respect that. But B, when you like the brand and ain't got nothing to do with me, and then you get me later on, I love that.
Right, that's the ultimate.
I love that because you're dealing with the product itself. You're dealing with whatever it is that you meet right there in what I produce. Right. And I love that, man. That happens.
How much of a challenge? How much trouble are you in for wearing this particular design that you have on? Yeah.
No trouble, B.
No trouble at all.
What you talking about?
Right.
We's artists.
Okay.
Rock and roll.
But I mean, at the end of the day, I want to really pull out on this camo thing because Raj, at the end of the day, we didn't really get to finish that part.
All right, cool.
Right. So we're gonna close off with that. Because you're rapping camo, you're wearing camo. And there are a lot of people out there who I know, myself included, who would like to express and wear a lot of camo. But at the end of the day, you got to be mindful. Like,
of course.
You know, it's not legal.
This touches back with something you said earlier about the leaving. Honestly, camo's everywhere, B. What you dealing with? You know what I mean? I'm just like, you know, the thing went in the papers and I said, you know, the camo law is backward and I had some negative vibes, but I had a lot of support too. But I still had some people like, you know what I mean? Like the most, honestly, like the law is the law. Like you can't change the law. Like that's the most insane thing to me. Cause what you talking about, babe? We made it. What you mean? We could change it. This thing's called changes. This thing's called alterations, modifications to make more sense. To do things that relevant be. You understand what I'm saying? This in 1985. Get with it. What you talking about? Get with it. This in 1985, baby. We way past that. What was it, 25? What? We way past that, right? Camouflage is everywhere, B. You see the Lamborghini posted there, right? You see that there?
Crazy.
Whole camo color. You see the I don't know what you saw, B, but I've just put stuff out on Facebook so people would see the pervasiveness on it, from a couch to a lamp stand, right? To watch it, kids' clothes, to doggy wear, right? To wedding gown. Right to shoes, pumps, boots. I mean anything, B. Underwear is on everything, B. Is a dude. I went downtown and bought I didn't buy it. I took a photo in a pharmacy. I won't call no names. Camouflage plasters. I know a dude. If it's a true story, I can go with it. Trying to bring in papers, rolling papers that are gonna be burned with a pattern on it. Them get whole. That can make any sense. I just don't even know what kind of sense that can make because the paper's gonna get burned.
Anyhow.
Right? I mean, I don't even know, but that's so much. So honestly, the thing is infuriate me a little bit. I can be real with you, Philip. The thing is infuriate. Honestly, the thing is get me vexed. Because, again, while everybody getting the benefit and the beauty and the value from it, we getting on like we special. Why? It's so simple to me. With good to all concerned. BDF, much respect. I appreciate what you do. Watch it. Just hold the camo you use. That's it, B. You see that one that you used, that one there? Hold that. Just that. See the rest? Free at the camo. You know what I'm talking about? Free at the camo, B?
Across design and color.
B, colors and thing, B. Look, you hold yours. I met yours strictly illegal. We ain't gonna touch that there. So unless somebody wanna do something crazy, right? Cause that what you trying to stop, right? That what you trying to stop, or you trying to own camouflage like it's yours? Cause you can't do that. I can tell you that right now. You can't do that before artists. Not when we create camouflage. When we get to the beginning, who create camouflage? Artists, B. So I just saying, it can't be that story. You tell me it's saying else. I mean, it can't be like you own it. You know what I said? I just say it can't be like you own it. Guys, you don't. That's what I'm talking about. But if you want yours, that one that you like to use, that particular one that you had made change from the old Woodland one, US Woodland one to a new one, that's cool, B. Have it. Alright? But see the rest of it, B, we got work to do, B. We do fashion, we do styling. This was on. This was happening. Be obstinate or not, but all I gotta tell you is, nah, B.
Right.
Nah.
I mean, my bit on that obviously is that whether it's camouflage or not, we're talking about the principle of a matter. So we can match that to a violation of rights in so many different ways. So, I mean, we can extend that argument and take it across the border from camouflage to a number of different issues, police brutality, the number of issues that we need to touch on.
Watch it in a general way, because I could touch you on a general way. In a general way, people on the plantation don't think they got power. In general, people on the plantation don't think they got power.
I mean, that's where the real government is, isn't
it? We here with all these restrictions, not believing in even our own personal power of expression. We don't even, you know what I'm saying? Like we don't even believe in that. We don't feel we have a voice, B. And that's why that statement, the law's the law, is infuriating me so much. Because anybody that know that they got power to change things, they don't talk like that, B.
Right.
You don't talk like that. You could say they got people that talk like that, but you don't talk like that. You don't talk about the law's the law. You talk about she's on bread, B. It's about time we get better laws. That's how you talk, and you try to get better laws, right? You don't be like that. So to me, that statement, B, that statement is such a huge statement of disempowerment.
Right.
That disempowerment, that's at the root of shit, B.
Okay. So final word, we run out of time this evening. You're talking about empowerment now. Let's reverse that. And I always want to not just identify problems. I say this every week. Solution time.
Right.
So talk to the youths, talk to people who obviously have a dream and want to realize that dream. You know, if you think it,
I'll tell you, B, you got something that you want to see happen, be straight. I can tell you right now, love is how we do that shit. Love is how we evolve, B. This right here, right there.
There you go.
Right?
Right.
This right there.
Getting a good shot there? Yeah.
Yeah, King. You see inside of the word evolve, like the way that the top and the bottom is like you kind of want to read in both directions, right? When you read in reverse, you meet on the love, right? So inside evolve is inside there love, and I was just like, and this what happened, B. When I was in St. Lucia, I said to myself, I need to get like the biggest, strongest word sound that I know forward, and that to me, I believe things that Bob Marley said, I believe things that Jesus man said, I believe things that, other things that I come to myself, things that I come through just regular angels and things, you know, people. I talk about that love thing, B.
Bottom line. Everything leads back to
listen,
it.
B, you could get fussy about it and decide like that's a soft thing. I can tell you something, B. Love in this age, that's tech bare balls, B. You gotta be committed and sing. And I said, listen, love is how we evolve. When I flip that word and then flip the head to the tail and it turned into evolve, it's like, nah, B, there's a relationship, B. If you want to grow as a person, you better get up in some love business. You better get like on that for real, and let that teach you about life. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that's all it is. And for me, the more that you love what you do, B, you can get like brighter and brighter ideas, B. You're doing it just for doing it, and saying you just get energy from it. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you're just like, ooh, I just did you know, I just did my job. It's not like I just did my job.
I think
that's this is what we want to do about this. You understand? You just get energy from it. When you're on that there so beat, that's the love that's build that up in there, so that's make that for me. I think that's the way forward.
Yeah, straight. I think that's the essence of this entire program, changing the mindset of the young people across Barbados, the region, the world, who's not on the positive vibe. You need to get on that vibe. I think we flog negativity for a little while across the island, you know. So we're gonna get to that, Raj. I really thank you for coming.
Nah, respect,
maximum respect. We'll be back in a bit.
No time to make believe, know who I am. Suffer for so long, under them sham. I feel it in the wind, not time to burn down Babylon. See, can you feel Rastafari. Babylon done when Rasta come together. You hear me say, aya, aya. Burn down Babylon when we come together. You hear me say, aya, aya. Babylon done when African come together.
Okay, so maximum respect to everybody for viewing the program so far. This brings a close to episode number 6. Thanks a lot to Rhaj Paul for passing through. I want to say big respect to Exodus Roots as well. Don't forget, log on to YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all these social media platforms, and stay tuned for that website coming soon as well. Big respect for viewing.
I'm gonna say give thanks for life. You want love black people. I'm gonna say you're the provider, Selassie, and the Almighty. Joe! Rastafari live on the end of the heart of our flesh. Kalonji, boom, get